How does one become as articulate as you? When you read philosophy, do you? It skipped on me. When you read philosophy, do you take notes? Question mark. That's from Najid. Najid, I do take notes. Okay, now I'll tell you something. I'm a note taker. I believe in taking notes. However, taking notes, I rarely reread my notes. I will read my notes sometimes. However, just the activity of taking the notes, you organize your thoughts, and the fact that you typed it down or you wrote it down will greatly increase your ability to organize your thoughts and retain the information. Okay, so it will greatly increase your ability to organize your thoughts and retain information. Taking notes is very important. Now, I also make a lot of mnemonics. Okay, so I'm not going to get into mnemonics now, but I highly recommend you guys study mnemonics. How, there are world champions in memory. There are memory games, okay? They call it brain games, memory games, and competitions, memory competitions. And you have world champions. You have the guys who are world champions, U.S. champions, and they give you courses on how to memorize things, okay? How to memorize a deck of cards, how to memorize your grocery list, how to memorize books, how to memorize a table of content, how to memorize anything, absolutely anything, okay? So I personally I have a very strange memory, okay? It's really strange because sometimes I can remember things like it's unbelievable. Like I'll remember, especially when it comes to like martial arts stuff, I just like, it sticks to me. I can remember who did it in one fight. I can remember who taught it to me. Like if I learned the move, I'll tell you, oh, well, the first guy to show it to me was so-and-so. And I seen it in this fight, that fight, this fight, that fight. And like I'll throw it at you like that. Like I just know the move so well. It's rare I know a move and I forgot who taught it to me. I usually, most of the time, remember who taught it to me. And I'll immediately tell you what fights I've seen it in. However, there's so many things I forget. It's insane. Like I have a trouble with names sometimes. But also, you have to remember, I learned a lot of new names. Every day I learn somebody's name. Some new guy walks in the gym, gives me his name. So I do my best. I use mnemonics to remember my people's names, etc. But I get so many names thrown at me that it's actually quite tough to remember them all. Now, I've met like really like famous people, and one of them was I've met royalty. I've met royalty, and I couldn't believe that this person who's royalty must meet. He meets people all over the world all the time. He was able to retain my name. I couldn't believe it. And he doesn't know anything, but he's not a fan of MMA or anything like that. He's not like a big fan of MMA. But he was so sharp. This person was so sharp. He was able to remember my name after meeting me once or twice. And then he saw me again months later. And he was like, oh, I know your name. It's incredible how some people have incredible... I'm fascinated with memory. I'm very fascinated with memory because I'm hot and cold. Sometimes I remember things like the inside and out of, like, especially when I read books, like I really retain them well. However, there's certain things like just slip my mind. I have to make a mnemonic. I have to do it over and over again. I don't know why, but I'm hot and cold with it. And I'm fascinated with memory. The memory Olympics, the memory games that they play, the memory championships, I'm fascinated. There's one memory world champion. He was able to recite pi to 1,000 digits after hearing it only once. Think about it. It's insane. It's insane. They do something called the mind palace. It's absolutely insane. And I'm a big fan of memory also because Socrates used to hate books. He's like, no books. I'm going to give you a lesson and you're going to memorize it. He thought books were a crutch. Like if you use books to learn, you're never going to be educated. And I totally disagree with Socrates, even though I admire him greatly. I think he was out to lunch on this one. I think it was crazy. Imagine if we didn't have books, we would have lost so much of mankind's knowledge. We would have lost so much knowledge. Like we discovered ancient books and it revived certain sciences, certain subjects. If people didn't take the pain to write it down, I don't think mankind would be where it is today. So on that front, I think he was wrong. However, I think he was onto something. I wish when I was young, like I make my kids learn mnemonics, okay? I wish when I was young, not only they sent me to school, but they made me do an hour of mnemonics a day. Like, it would have been, school would have been so easy. I just sit in the test, I memorize the book, I read the lesson once. And I'll tell you why it would become so easy, because they have the technique called mind palace. Okay, they make a palace inside their mind. It's actually quite brilliant. Okay, imagine your house. Okay, take a look at your house. Okay, you know your house by heart. You live in your living room. You live in your bedroom. You live in your kitchen. You know this. You know this space. Okay, so what they do is they make stations. Okay, so there's different ways to go about it. Okay, one guy, Ron White, does it well. He's an American memory champion. I really like his program. He has actually a really good website, etc. Check out Ron White, guys. He's a really, really good trainer in mnemonics. And he says, look, when you picture a room, okay, so you have your living room, you have your kitchen, you have your dining room, you have your bedroom, you have your basement, you have all these different rooms, okay? In each room, I want you guys to put 5 objects in each room, okay? Now, there's 4 corners in each room, and there's a center. Think about a dice, the number 5 on the dice. There's every room starts from the right corner, then the other right corner, then the left corner, then the next left corner, and then the middle. So you have the same sequence. You're going counterclockwise in every room. So if you have to remember a list of whatever it may be, okay, so I teach my kids all sorts of lessons, and I make a list, and they have to memorize the list. Okay, so let's say I make them memorize foods I want them to eat, healthy foods. What's a healthy food? How should they organize their diet, etc.? Okay, well, the first item is this. Let's say it's chicken breast. Okay, chicken breast is really important. Chicken breast is high in protein, low in fat, etc. Okay, the first station is chicken breast. Okay, so you're gonna picture a chicken. You're gonna picture a muscular chicken. They make it animated. They tell you the more wacky it is, the more senses it stimulates: sight, hearing, taste, smell, etc. touch. The more it has, the more you'll remember it. Okay, what's the next most important thing? Well, I'll tell them, let's say it's egg whites. Okay, I have a list for them. I want them to eat egg whites. Okay, so egg whites is really important. Okay, so you're going to see, just eggs. Eggs are white, so it makes sense. Egg white, you're going to remember egg whites, etc. Then let's say number 3, okay, we have shrimp. I want them to eat shrimp. Seafood's important. It's very healthy, etc. Okay, so they're going to picture shrimp in this corner of the house. When you go through your mind palace, when you walk around your house, you remember these stations, and they find a way to connect all the items together. It's brilliant. These people are so brilliant. So guys like Dominic O'Brien, 10-time world champion memory, he has a mind palace where it's over 1,000 spaces, organized spaces. He'll hear a number 1, and he'll hear a 1,000 digit number once and remember it. So how does he do that? Every number is an image. Okay, so give me a number. Give me any 2-digit number. Somebody out there, give me any 2-digit number. Okay, 34. Okay, so Insomnia says 34. Guys, I'm gonna just do 34. 34, 3 is an M. Okay, so this is called the major system. Okay. Dominic O'Brien doesn't use the major system. He has another system. Okay, but I don't use his system. I use Ron White's system. Ron White uses the major system. I prefer the major system. Okay. M3, the letter 3 is M. Why is it the letter M? Because if you turn the 3 upside down, like sideways, it's going to make the letter M, right? And 4 is the letter R. Why is the letter 4 R? Because 4 R, you have 4, the last letter in 4 is R. So you have an M and an R. Now you got to make a word with M and R. So my word for M and R, which is 34, is a mare. A mare. Okay, so female horse is a mare. I see a female horse, so I picture a pink horse. A pink horse is my image for the number 34. So if you tell him 34, he's going to picture a pink horse. For him, 34 is always will be a pink horse. And then they connect images because they say human beings remember images and not abstract numbers or shapes. Okay, abstract numbers are very difficult for the human mind to remember. So for him, when you pop off those numbers, he's making images, and with those images, he's going to kind of make a story, or he's going to place them in his mind palace. And in his mind palace, he's going to kind of make a story. The story is so unique, so wacky that he can't forget it. It's so absurd and odd. And this is the basics of how they memorize such incredible amount of content. What's mind-blowing is the guy heard a 1,000 digit number. If you ask him, hey, what's the 874th number. Well, he's going to go in his mind palace at section 874, and he'll tell you, well, the number 874 is this particular number. So he can tell you not only in order, but if you ask him to give it to you backwards, he'll give it to you backwards. If you ask him to start at the 705th number, he'll start at the 705th number. Like, it's basically like he's turning his mind into a computer. It's fascinating. The guy, Dominic O'Brien, was actually really bad at school. He was dyslexic. He had many problems cognitively. So he threw himself into the study of memory, and he became one of the most sharpest human beings in human history. He started off as a dyslexic guy who was like, can't do good in school. And now you can give him a newspaper, he'll read it in 20 minutes, and then he'll tell you page by page what's on it. If you ask him, hey, what's on page 4? What's the third paragraph about? He'll pop it off. He'll tell you all about it. It's insane how sharp this man is. It's really incredibly insane. Now, if you have kids, I personally would tell you, teach them chess. Chess is great. And also teach them the art of mnemonics. It's a phenomenal gift. I started mnemonics very late in life. I wish they taught me to read. I wish they taught me math. And I wish they forced me into mnemonics. Like, they just made me bite the bullet and just made me a mnemonics master. That would have been a huge favor they would have done for me.